Hello and welcome back to World of Warcraft, and this time around the 6.0 PTR. My name's Lumin, and in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what you can expect come 6.0, when it hits the live servers, what new features are being added, what changes are being made, what new content there's going to be for you to check out, and so on and so forth. I wanted to first make a PTR overview video, but that didn't really make sense, seeing that it's much the same, and I think people instead would just like to know what they're going to get on their characters, what's going to change with their characters, what's coming to the servers when the patch hits. So I've got a list here, and I will just say before starting that it's all subject to change. You know how Blizzard is. I mean, they may add some extra stuff that'll be coming in 6.0. They may remove stuff. It could still change in the next week or two. We don't know yet. But for now, I've got a good long list of stuff here, and right at the top is the Iron Horde incursion. That's what's going to be happening in Blasted Lands, and it's content. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of quests. There's going to be like a mini quest hub at the Dark Portal, and if I'm not mistaken, and this isn't really huge in terms of spoilers, but the Dark Portal is going to turn red. That's what's going to happen, and the Iron Horde is going to come pouring through. Then, along with this, there'll be a nice long quest line, and I think there'll be the conclusion of the legendary quest line as well. That's gonna kind of tie into that, because they said they wanted to end it off again. I mean, I thought there was quite a bit of finality in the previous version of the ending, but whatever. Then there's also gonna be the first half of the updated version of UBRS. So Upper Blackrock Spire, you're gonna be able to do the first half of that and get yourself some 550 gear there. Nice gear, good gear. I think that there will be a chest piece, there'll be weapons, a ring, gloves, and a neck? I don't know. A couple of pieces. You could probably go check it out on Wowhead or something, but that's going to be interesting. You know, that's just going to be the set of events that'll lead up to Warlords launch, and my guess is things are going to intensify as the gap shortens, as we approach November the 13th or whatever, so more stuff will start happening around the world. And then at the end, we'll probably make our way through that dangerously red-looking Dark Portal. But that's what you can expect in terms of content, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that the dungeon's going to be very difficult. I don't know yet. We'll see. Then, new character models. I should probably have started with that just because it's the biggest deal. But as you can see right here, they are adding the new character models in 6.0, and it's just super impressive. It is probably the single biggest change that's been made to the game since it released. They look great. My character looks so good. You can even, in the options menu, and we're going to talk about the options menu in just a little bit, but you can even in here switch between them on the fly, and the difference is huge. Just look for a moment. Take a moment, look at the character, look at the hair. Look when I jump. Look how it runs. Look at just the general movement of everything. And the face. Pay attention to the face. Okay, hold on. Let me just do you guys a favor and undress her a little bit. Not going to spend too much time looking at the new models, but I want to at least show you. So here. These are the old models. Just look at them. I should probably take those swords off as well. Old models. Have a look. Here come the new models now. And just look at the difference. It's crazy. Everything just looks so much better. Look at the hair when I jump. Or when you like cast a spell or something. Do I have any spells to cast? Not really. For some reason my Hearthstone's still on cooldown, but just look at the difference. It's magnificent. Let's get the clothing back on. Don't want to be running around here naked. All the models were updated except Blood Elves, Goblins, Worgen and Pandaren. I think that's it. All the rest were, and they're all looking great. And if you turn your new models off, all the others in the world will turn off as well. So you won't see any of the new models. Don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. That's an option. And You can also, if you're not happy with your face, customize or change your face at the barbershop now. That's coming in 6.0 as well. And I'm not sure how long that's going to stay there. I'm not sure if it's a permanent addition to the barbershop. So that means that the only thing you can't change at the barbershop will be your skin color. Which I think is a little bit strange. That they let you change the face, which is such a defining feature of your character, but not the skin color. I don't know. Maybe that's still coming as well. Maybe they're going to add a tanning salon. I'm just not sure. But I am very, 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 very impressed by the new character models of the hair, the body, all of it. It looks great. The movement's also really nice. I mean, everything just looks much smoother, and that's great. But now, with that out of the way, because I could talk about this specifically all day. I could just run around here looking at the new models all day. I'm not going to, however. Also, I should just add that I think human males should get an award for being most improved. They look great now. I mean, I could see myself even using a human male character, playing as a human male, just because they look so much better. But, moving along, options menu has changed significantly. You now have base settings and raid and battleground settings. These are, as they say they are, a different set of graphical settings that will apply automatically if you enter a raid or battleground, and it does it on the loading screen, so you don't have to like load longer in any way. You don't have to even see it happening. You enter the raid or battleground and it switches over. It's kind of cool for people that have FPS problems in either of those. I like it. I like it a lot. So if you enable it here, it's just another tab that's exactly the same that you can modify, and for some reason it keeps setting it back down to high. I don't know why. It's a thing on the PTR at the moment, but a lot of changes here. A lot of people weren't happy about the changes to anti-aliasing. Before we had multi-sampling, now we've got FXAA low and high and CMAA, and Blizzard actually made a blog post about this and said why CMAA and FXAA are better, what it's gonna, mean for the game going forward. But tons of people have pointed out that things do look a little more jaggly. You are missing some of the proper, let's just say, smoothness that was there in the live game when you come onto the PTR and when 6.0 hits. It's noticeable. I think if you look, for instance, at that little speech bubble above the dude's head, you can see some jaggles there. If you look in this character screen over here, you can see that around the face and on the hair, it does look a little, I don't know, ragged, but it doesn't bother me in the least, because apparently this is supposed to allow them to do a whole lot of other special stuff without impacting the performance. So I'm going to wait and see how it goes. They said that they may improve things somewhere down the line, so we'll wait for that, we'll see, but I'm just putting it out there that a lot of people complained that their games are now looking worse. Graphics options did change a bit though. In advanced, as I said, you can change the character models back to the old ones. Then there are a few other things that were there. The interface menu, I'll just go quickly through them. I'm not going to discuss every single change. There's one specifically that I want to just pause on for a moment. So you can look here if you want. There are a lot of improvements that were made that before you needed add-ons and stuff for, which is just how they do things. That's how Blizzard does it. They take ideas from add-ons, implement into the game, and then you don't need to use those add-ons anymore. But here's the one thing I wanted to highlight, or outline, is the outline mode. It's really cool. It just makes the game feel a little bit more complete. So when you hover over NPCs, or players, or whatever, they've now got an outline around them, and it looks nice. It works. Just gonna say that. For enemies, it'll be red. For neutrals, it's that yellowy color, like yellowy orange. But I think it's really cool. I think it's something that the game needed. You can even set it in the menu here, which is also useful, that your target stays highlighted. So the target that you've got selected, say for instance that guy, he stays highlighted, and if you mouse over someone else, it highlights them as well. I like that. I think it's really cool, because if you fight in a raid or something, and you've got a boss selected, but you want to just hover over something else, or select or do something else basically, at the same time, but not lose your target visually. That'll help. It just makes it a little easier, you know, to see what's going on. I think it's great. So I'm going to go through the rest of these still. The floating combat text was updated slightly. It's now like a fountain. It comes out like a fountain. It goes like to both sides. I'm not sure if like some of the damage goes to the one side and some to the other side, but it does look a little bit better. Slightly less cluttered. Before it was like a pow 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 kind of thing where they popped out at you. So it's a little different now. But it does look good. That's for sure. There you go. Moving down. The next thing I want to talk about is the interface. This is a pretty long sub list that I've got here. There's a new group finder tool that I will show you in just a second. It's down here, pre-made groups. You've got the PvE one, and then you've got the PvP one over here. And they both get used for their respective categories. You know, here you can do arenas, arena skirmishes, battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds, and custom. I'm just going to show you one. Then here, quest in, dungeon, scenarios, raids, legacy raids, and custom. So if I take, for instance, custom, it doesn't really matter which one I take, and you say find a group, then it'll search for custom pre-made groups, which you probably won't find many of on the PTR. I mean, it's 4 AM in the US right now. But if you start a group, there are a lot of interesting options you get to choose from. So I want to make a group. I want to go quest in. I'm going to call it Lumin's Grand Adventure. There you go. Details. You gotta see this. And then you can say minimum item level 770. You can't require an item level higher than your own. Well, that's good that they've got that in place. That's good. No, I don't want to duel. Get out of my life. Yeah, you can also say voice chat. I want to use Skype. I think it's really, really great. Because I would use this for something like arenas. You know, I want to go arena. I want to start a group. I want to say that, you know, require 2,200 rating, please. Item level 550. You know, you can sort of get exactly what you want with this, and then other people can just browse through there and find you. It's great. It's a really good tool. Then the new difficulties are coming in as well, and they are going to be very interesting. I can show you the difficulties here because the old raid finder is still active. Normal, heroic, and mythic. Normal is going to be flex. Heroic is going to be normal, and mythic is going to be heroic, if that makes sense. So there's no more flex. I also thought when they added it that it didn't really suit the Warcraft universe. It didn't sound right. You know, normal makes much more sense. Flex is a silly word. It's not a Warcrafty word. Normal, heroic, and mythic, they sound better. Normal and heroic are going to be, if I am not mistaken, flexible. You're going to be able to go with like, whatever, 8 to 25 people. I don't know if you can take more or less, but it's going to be flexible, both of those, and then mythic will be stuck at 20 people, exactly 20. And those are coming in the pre-patch, so we're going to get to test them out in 6.0, which is just great. Quest log's been revamped. It looks kind of cool now. I am a big fan of the quest log. It shows you all your quests on the side here. It also shows if they legendary, if they're daily, if they're weekly, or if they're normal quests. And then, say for instance you want to check what you've got in Outland. Nothing. Azeroth, quite a few. Eastern Kingdoms, just those two. Pandaria, all those. You know, it shows exactly which quests are in which zone. So it's basically just built into the map now. I like it. I think it's something that they definitely needed to add. Then, more interface stuff that's a lot of fun. The toy box. This is going to be depressing. Really, really depressing. Seeing all the toys you don't have. There are lots of toys. Okay, and you have to actually add them manually. So I just added a few here. I haven't added them all. But if you right-click on them in your inventory, then it adds them to the toy box. Then you can just click on them here, and it uses them. They don't take up the space in your inventory anymore. You can also drag them down to your bar, put them down there and use them whenever you want. It's really, really nice. There's a new bag sorting feature, which is magnificent. So you can select a bag, you can say this one's for consumables, then there's a little potion there, you can say it's for equipment, there's a little piece of armor there, or for trade goods, there's a little silken thread there. So if I say trade goods on this one, and let's say equipment on that one, okay, and then consumables on that one, and then I click on clean up bags, ta-da! There you go! Done and done. All the consumables are up here, that's my equipment, these are the trade goods, and that's the other random junk that they couldn't find a home for. It's really nice. I think it's really, really nice. There's also a little border around the icon to show what quality it is. So you can just immediately see where your epics are. Then, the reagent bank. One of my favorite additions. I think this needed to be in the game many years ago. I'm glad that they added it now. It is another tab in your bank that's pretty huge that just houses all your reagents. I mean, if you take stuff out here now, for instance, let's put that there, let's put that there, and you run up to your bank, you click there, you click deposit, bam, it puts them in from your bag. You don't need to find them, you don't need to do anything, it just puts them straight in there. Also, you may have realized that the stack sizes are now much bigger. I'm not even sure how big they get, but that's 69 windwool cloth. That would otherwise have been 4 stacks. Kinda cool. Only a few items in the game stacked really high, but now it seems like most of the trade goods do. So, great addition, really, really cool. Then, you have a new void storage tab. Not sure why they put this guy here. Isn't he supposed to be standing over there? Anyway, never mind. Another void storage tab. Double as much space in there now. Really cool. I like it. Nothing bad to say about that. I mean, all of these things are just things that needed to be added at some point. And it's good that we're not going to have to pay for them or whatever. Like in Guild Wars where you have to pay for extra bank tabs or whatever with real money. Anyway. Next up. Achievements. So, there's a lot that's going on here. So, when the pre-patch comes out, they are going to be removing the legendary quest line. And you are not going to be able to attain it anymore. It should become a feat of strength. They've also added a legacy tab here for all the other stuff. I see actually it's in the legacy tab. So all the stuff that you won't be able to get anymore, but that's not special enough to be a feat of strength, that's going to be in the legacy tab. And if I am not mistaken, they are removing a few other things. Like the, here you go, the Leroy Jenkins tab, title. So if you want to get that, you should get it now. You're not going to be able to get it anymore. I mean, you had a good couple of years to get that for yourself. So, you know, I'm sure you should have it by now if you wanted it. Also, the Black Prince buff, for those that are still working on the Legendary Quest line, is going to go on until the pre-patch. And then the way they're doing the Legendary Quest line is, if you've accepted it now already, then you won't lose it. So if you're busy on it, you won't lose it when the pre-patch comes. But when the pre-patch does come, you won't be able to accept it and start it. And then when Warlords launches, it's gone. It's gone for good. You won't be able to do it anymore. Even if you're on the very last step, you will not be able to finish it. So you should probably get that done, if you haven't already. The Test of Valor part of it has been removed. The challenge modes, the achievements for them, the challenges path, the mounts, the transmogs like the one I'm wearing right now, these are all being removed in the pre-patch. You won't be able to get them anymore. So if you've got them, you keep them. If you don't have them, they're gone. The Proving Grounds and Brawlers Guild, those achievements are going into the Legacy tab. So if you want to do those, then you should probably do them now. They're not being removed. You'll be able to do them on level 100 again, but they will give you some extra achievement points and go into the Legacy tab. So, you know, if you're a completionist, you should probably do that. Okay, just do it. Ahead of the curve to get the sweet, sweet Orgrimmar Wolf mount. That's been removed. So if you want that Wolf mount, you've got to kill Garrosh before the pre-patch. You've got to do it. Can I go down here, Clee? I want to show you the mount because it's just amazing. Then, there are some other changes being made, like the mount you get for doing heroic or something, that big scorpion mount, I'm not sure. That's been added to the Iron Juggernaut as a 1% drop chance or something like that. There are some other little changes like that happening. Not quite as important to most people, but they are happening. You should probably just be aware of that fact. Then, Justice and Valor points are being removed completely. You're probably going to be reimbursed with gold. Then, Justice vendors for heirlooms only are being removed in the... Is it in the pre-patch? I think so. So if you wanted to buy Justice heirlooms, you should probably do it now. The reason they're removing it is because they want to put a bigger and better system in at some point. So they will still leave the Dark Moon vendors there with heirlooms, the Honor ones, and the Argent Tournament Ground ones. You can still get them there, but you won't be able to buy them with Justice points because they're working on a new system for that, and it would kind of mess things up if they just left them there. But if you want to do things with Justice points before it gets removed, you should probably do that now, seeing that there are a few things like there's a mount in Dalaran that you can buy with Justice points, a woolly mammoth or something. You can buy Rep in Dalaran for a couple of factions, like the Argent Crusade, Kirintor, and Knights of the Ebon Blade. Oh, and these two, actually, Sons of Hodor and Wormrest Accord. You can buy all that Rep from Hated to Exalted with Justice points. And probably a few other things. If you have any other special goodies that you can buy with Justice points that I didn't mention now, leave a comment. Let people know about them. Then, guaranteed heirloom on your first Garrosh kill if you don't have one already. Come 6.0. So in 6.0, if you kill Garrosh, you will not get the Ahead of the Curve achievement. You will not get this nice mount, which I have not actually got bound to a key. You won't get this wolf anymore, but you will get an heirloom. That's kind of cool. So you can get the normal one, which is the former flex one, or the mythic one, or the heroic one. Heroic then mythic, not mythic then heroic. Get any of those, and you will get one for your spec and class on your first try, and then after that it'll be sort of random. I think if you've already got one, then it won't be guaranteed, but it's for those people like me who just haven't gotten lucky yet, so it's probably worth it. Then they're removing item upgrading in the pre-patch, or they're not removing it, but because Valor is being removed, you can't use Valor anymore, so you're going to be able to use the lesser charms of good fortune that you've got. So if you've got a lot of lesser charms, you can upgrade your gear with that, get rid of them before Warlords comes. You'll also be able to buy unlimited amounts of Warforged seals. You can see I've got 7 here. That's a silly amount. So you'll be able to bonus roll on absolutely everything you want. Celestials, Ordos, all of Siege of Orgrimmar. You can do that if you want, because why not? And finally, no more reforging. You're not going to be able to reforge anymore. I don't know what the final verdict on upgrading was, honestly, but I know reforging is out. They don't want people to reforge anymore. I know that item upgrading will be there until Warlords, and you're going to be able to use the lesser charms for that, but it might be removed after that. But in the next section, talent changes and skill removals, you're going to have to check the patch notes for yourself for that. I'll put a link below, but I'm not going to be able to tell you about every single class. I do, however, know that a lot of crowd control abilities were removed. Stuns and stuff like that, disables, fears, some were made talents, and then some of the talent trees were shuffled around a little bit. You can also see your level 100 talents now. A lot of glyphs were changed, so all the new ones are now in here. Things like Floating Butterfly, you can now move while using Fists of Fury. That's a big deal. There are some huge changes coming, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Then along with that, you can see I've now got 70,000 life. That's the stat squish. I think I had something like 700,000 life in the live game. So everything was just squished down to be more manageable in terms of numbers. So you're going to be doing less numbers in damage. It'll look like it's much less, but you're not actually doing less damage because the stuff that you're going to be damaging, that's also been reduced. That's also been squished down to nothingness. It's weird. If you haven't actually been around for a stat squish before, it's a little weird, but I think it's something that needed to happen once again, and it's going to be cool just having slightly lower numbers again. I think, at least. Then there were a whole bunch of changes to the, like, stats and secondary stats. A whole bunch. Agility and intellect no longer give crit to their respective specs. So I don't get crit from agility anymore in Windwalker spec, which sounds like a big deal, but they actually made up for it by giving a passive to most classes that need extra crit to just put it at the same level or close to the same level. Then there's a new stat called Multi-Strike. There's a new stat called Leech, Versatility, and Avoidance. Multi-Strike grants 2 5% chances to deliver an extra attack or heal for 30% of the normal value. That's probably going to be your staple, the one you're going to go for in most DPS and healing specs, because it's just really good. Leech is lifesteal. Versatility is sort of like PvP power for PvE. It just boosts your damage and healing done all around across the board. And then there's Avoidance, which helps you avoid area of effect attacks. That's for the people that can't get out of the fire before it hits. I don't know what the point of it is. Honestly, I don't understand why that was added, but it's there. They thought it was a good idea, so it's there. Then, I'm not sure if this has come in the pre-patch, but apparently all mail and plate, and maybe leather. So mail and leather will have both agility and intellect on, and all plate will have both strength and intellect on. So it's going to be a bit confusing at first, but it's going to make dual specking a lot easier in the expansion. That's going to be really nice. I like it. And I think that's it. There's one more thing that I need to mention, but I'm just going to make sure I've discussed everything else. I think I have. You know, I think I have. I might have missed small things here and there, and if I did, just leave a comment telling me what I missed. But the final thing is, with 6.0, they're going to be freeing up a whole bunch of names. Blizzard are going to just delete a whole bunch of names. And by deleting names, I mean they're going to flag characters for renames that have not been active for something like the past, I think it's 5 years or 6 years, since 2008, so since Wrath of the Lich King. If you haven't played in a character since then, it's going to be flagged for a rename, and that name will be freed up. So when 6.0 comes, if there was a name that you desperately wanted, you could try get it, because it might be free. I don't know. It's worth checking out. You should probably just have a look. I also have just received word that the Green Fire quest for Warlocks has been removed. But I think that was mentioned like 1,000 times already. I should just say it. Green Fire quest for Warlocks. You get a title with that of the Black Harvest. If you've got a Warlock, you should be doing that. It makes your spells look a whole lot cooler. It makes your Fell Steed green instead of that common looking orangey red color. It's nice. It's real nice. Then she says that you get the Legend of Pandaria title if you did the Legendary quest line. There you go. That's what happened. Okay. I've been told that I missed that. I don't know if I have the Legend of Pandaria title right now here. Maybe I do. Apparently not. Alright, but I haven't done the Legendary quest on this character. Okay. Fine. It's not done yet. It's not finished yet. It'll be finished very soon, but it's not finished yet. So that's it. If I missed something, please leave it in the comment section below so that anyone that watches the video can just get the full picture, get everything, know what's going on. But I think I've covered most of it at least. And if I missed something, it's probably minor. All in all, I can say that 6.0 is probably the biggest and most, I can't say influential, but I probably will end up saying influential. Biggest and most influential patch, there you go, I just said it, of World of Warcraft to date, just because of all the big changes happening. And it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're playing the game right now, you can jump onto the PTR for free to have a look at what your character will look like. You can copy it over, see what the new models look like. You can test your new skills and abilities out. You can feel very weak by testing your DPS on the target dummies. I did that. It's depressing. But you're not actually weak. Okay, it's important to note that you're not actually weak. And there you go. I'm finished. Check back here soon for more. Give it a like, share it, and do all that good stuff. Hope you guys are getting ready for 6.0. Hope you're keen, hope you're amped. Because I'm excited. Surely I am. Happy that.